Congratulations on this brand new single because our listeners are absolutely loving it at the moment. We've played it a couple of times now and it's getting requests, so congratulations.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Mate, I've got to say, you guys come from a very interesting background because you come from a punk background, but the sound that you guys are creating now is very, very different to that. Tell us a little bit about what brought around the new project, and also a little bit about how you guys have gone about finding a sound for this as well.
So I guess to kind of start it out, like me and Justin, we actually met, I don't know how long ago, was it maybe like a year or a little over a year ago. And at the time, London was more of like a solo act with him, because at the time I was going by the artist named Straylight. And we met around the time that you and me had already been coming out, and like he was getting ready to put out Ride or Die. And so I kind of met him right around that time. And we had a mutual friend that kind of introduced us to each other, and we started talking for a little bit, and then we did the one song, Whoever's Next. And after we did that, we kind of just really hit it off. We clicked, and he liked my style, and we just became really good friends. And we kind of just went from there. Stylistically, I think we both kind of come from a lot of like punk background stuff and listen to hardcore and stuff like that. And in terms of like kind of coming up with like a style or anything like that, it was not really something that we tried to like focus on too much. We just kind of, we wanted to do things that were like genre blending, because it felt like the right thing to do, and just kind of have a whole bunch of eclectic tastes and stuff. And we just kind of had this vocal line that Justin had been saving for a bit, and this bass line, and we started working on it together. And it kind of, we had some inspiration from like Tame Impala type stuff.
Yeah.
So like that, like especially like on the kind of first portion of the song where it's got the bass line and the drums, I was really inspired by like Tame Impala and some of the stuff that he's doing. And I kind of got halfway through the song, and we kind of wanted to have some more electronic feel to it, and we thought it would be a really cool idea to kind of do a little switch up at the end and switch it to a more future-based type of thing. And so we just found a way to try to make it work so that it would blend into that as kind of a climax ending that was different, but try to make it in such a way that it wasn't jarring the shift anyway.
Yeah, we love stuff here that blends genres together. Do you guys both have a very wide variety of music that you listen to when it comes to genres?
Yeah, both of us do. We both listen to, like you said, hardcore, a lot of EDM. Jeff wants to elaborate on that. Yeah.
We both listen to a lot of that, like metal and hardcore and punk music. But in terms of like electronic music, I'm a huge dubstep person. Like dubstep, drum and bass, neuro. Those are like what I love to do. And that was one of the things I really appreciate about working with Justin, is he also kind of pushes me outside of my comfort zone to try other genres that I wouldn't have normally made, and then try to kind of put like my own twist on it. And like working with him, and we can come up with some pretty interesting stuff. And Don't Turn This Car On was a prime example of that. Just kind of was something different, and it was really fun to work on.
Yeah, the style of Don't Turn This Car Around, is that what you guys are going to go for in the future, or can we expect some of that harder element to come through in the future as well?
Oh, there's some stuff we're working on now that is going to be a bit harder. We got some more dubstep stuff, that like dubstep-esque stuff that's blended into it that we're working on. We kind of didn't want to put ourselves into one corner stylistically or with genres or anything like that. But just because, we both grew up listening to hardcore, and I'm such a big dubstep fan, it seems just the right thing to do to start adding some of those heavier elements in there. So while this one was a really fun one, but some of the other stuff that's going to be coming out that we're working on, that you'll be able to tell that it's us, but it is going to be a little bit more high energy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I found interesting about this track was that it came from a singer-songwriter called Loveless. What made you guys decide this was the track that you wanted to have as your debut single?
So we previously did a song with Julian of Loveless, the song "You and Me," and that came out phenomenal. It's actually one of my favorite tracks. And Julian's been a friend of mine when I was living in LA for, the whole time I was living in LA. And every time we send something to him or he sends something to us, it's always just a banger, like his vocals. So that's why we ended up working with him on the track, just because I love his vocals so much. I love his style. Everything about that, what he writes, it's everything he writes is phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's always got, like, his vocals are really good also about not only just being very soaring in nature, but he's also lyrically, it's always really good at telling a story. And I think for me anyway, I really appreciate what he can do.
Yeah, everyone's going to be asking here now, what next for you guys? Can we expect more singles, an EP, an album? What are you guys working on now?
So right now, we're kind of working on some singles, but we have talked about some more multi-track projects in the future. Right now we're kind of playing the singles game, that is the music industry right now, but we have been talking about doing multi-track projects in the future, and that's something that we're really eager to get started on. Right now we're just kind of finishing up a few other works that are in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've just gone back into another 6-week lockdown here because the second wave has hit Victoria. Tell us a little bit about how you guys have spent the lockdown period. Has it been a creative time where you've been able to work on music, or have you kind of just used this time to reset the batteries a little bit?
So for me, I've gotten a lot more done during this lockdown in regards to, like, the business and all the other aspects to it. More so than I would have during, regular, just when everything was back to normal, which has benefited so much in this release with all the press and everything and everything going on. Creatively, Jeff could speak about that, but I mean, personally, I've just gotten so much done during this lockdown.
Yeah, for me, it's been a combination of both. It's, prior to the lockdown, it did kind of seem like life was always just going like 100 miles an hour, and you're always working on stuff. And I still have like a day job, so I'm trying to juggle the two. But then with everything that's going on with the quarantine and all that, it's definitely been giving me a chance to kind of take a step back and take a breather, and then kind of really focus in on the vision of the stuff that I want to do. And having more free time to work on music has also allowed me to kind of branch out and experiment and try new things. So I would say this quarantine has been, it's definitely difficult for us, especially because me and Justin are kind of split up by a little bit of distance. He lives in New York and I live in Nebraska. But it's been really good because we've had some opportunity to really just kind of branch out and try new things, and some of the stuff that we're working on now will definitely be a testament to that.
Awesome. And how is it looking there for you guys now, quarantine-wise? Are you nearing a stage where you might be able to start doing shows again, or are you like us where shows are not something that we're going to have in the too distant future?
So speaking from New York is still locked down. I personally don't see shows going on until about 2021 at the earliest. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty locked down tight. It's hard because you can't really kind of tell if it's going to slow down or not, and it's, everything is pretty uncertain right now, but we're trying to be as optimistic as we possibly can, because ultimately that's what we want to get back into doing, because it was really fun for us, and it's an amazing way to kind of share what we've been working on in a very it's just a really good experience for everyone in the crowd and on stage, and we just really miss it. So it's something we're really looking forward to, but it's kind of hard to put a finger on when that might happen again.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, because especially New York being hit the hardest and everything. Like I said, I don't foresee shows for a long time. Till next year at least.
Yeah. When the lockdown is over, where are you guys hoping to do shows? Are you going to kind of keep the shows local to where you are, or are you looking to kind of expand and maybe even go into Europe and maybe Australia even?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely keeping our options open when it comes to shows. Australia is actually one of the one places that I want to really go. I love Australia. You guys are amazing. But yeah, no, definitely. I definitely want to branch out. If the opportunity presents itself, I would love to go to Australia, the UK, and all those places. That is if the opportunity presents itself, like I said.
Yeah, same for me. It's I have never had the opportunity to leave America, and so being able to go and see other parts of the world and get to experience new places and meet new people is something I've always wanted to do. So if that opportunity presents itself, I'm going to hop on it real quick.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think it's time to take another listen to the track on our show right now. Is there anything you would like to say to our Aussie listeners out there before they take another listen to the track?
Yeah, Australia, London loves you. You're my favorite country. You guys are amazing.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we get to hear some new music from you guys very, very soon, and hopefully in the future get to see you play live here as well.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome, guys. Well, you stay safe, and I'm sure we'll talk again in the future.
All right. Have a good rest of your day, man.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.